this morning with the Geraldine Bulldogs, and Coach Michael Davis beginning his 5th year, I believe, as the head coach at Geraldine. Coach, if you had to let the guys introduce themselves or you introduce them, then some opening comments. Thank you.
Sure, I'll let these guys introduce themselves, but first I want to say, I brought these 5 guys with me. They've done nothing but lead our team this offseason. Now, I'm speaking for these 5 here, but we have a room full of them. There were some things that we wanted to see this offseason, and these guys have done nothing but what we've asked and some. I'm speaking on their character. I'm speaking on who they are as individuals, and they represent us the right way. We'll let these guys start down here and let them introduce themselves.
I'm Kason Armstrong, defensive end and tight end.
I'm Gabriel Garcia, middle linebacker and tight end.
I'm Dylan Galloway. I'm a senior, and I play guard.
Kenneth Watson, D-line, O-line.
Eli Slaughter, senior, safety, fullback.
Coach, coming out of summer, going into fall practice, could you talk about the improvement that you've seen in this football team and maybe some things you're going to have to work on going into the first game this year?
Yeah, we picked up where we left off in the offseason. I felt like we've had a good of an offseason that we've had as far as attendance and consistency day in and day out. When you hit that wall sometimes, and sometimes doing the same thing over and over sometimes isn't as fun. And these guys they found a way to bottle up that energy some days that they don't feel like really coming in there, and they found a way to bottle up energy and somehow get it out. So we've had a really good spring. We didn't have spring football. We had a really good spring as far as our change of direction and things we do, and in our weight room program. And then we just carried that right into summer. Summer we transitioned to 3 days a week. Those guys found a way to get better every day. They found a way regardless of the weather. You know how it is when during the summertime with weather. We found a way to get better regardless of what we have planned for them. We tried to challenge them every single day with different things. And then sometimes you're like, you have this big plan worked out to where, I'm going to get the guys today. I'm going to give them a gut check today. And then they go through it. It don't even seem like it phases them. Sometimes we question, are we doing enough, or do I need to put a little bit more on them? But that's a testament to who they are and how they take care of their body and what they're putting into their body. And I trust them from that standpoint as far as player accountability and, doing things the right way off the field. These guys, I can say that we've really taken it next step from off the field, leading off the field the right way.
Well, this question's for the guys. I mean, I've heard numerous things about Coach Davis, outstanding person. I hear a lot of stories from behind the scenes. Tell us individually what Coach Davis means to you, not only as a football coach, but what he means to you and how he develops you as a person.
Well, Coach Davis is a really big influence religiously. He's always preaching to us about, getting right with God and stuff like that. And, I mean, he really acts as like a second parent because, sometimes we're spending more time with him than we are at home. And, yeah, I really appreciate him for that.
Coach Davis to me is like a second father figure. He's really there whenever you need him, not just for the football standpoint, but if you ever need anything from him religiously, emotionally, physically, anything, he will always be there. And that means a lot as a player for him.
Coach Davis plays one of the biggest roles in my life. He just pushes me to be a better man and better player, and he most of all helps me out like spiritually and everything.
Coach Davis is like a second father to me. He helps me with everything I got going on. He guides me in the right direction, and I thank him for that.
Coach Davis, to me, has shaped me into a fine young man and getting me ready for the real world, and I just thank him for that. And I know after I graduate, he's there, and he'll help me through everything that I need done, and he's just going to be there for me.
I want to ask the players this, and also, Coach, maybe you can comment on it. As leaders of this football team, you've worked out with your team this year. Talk about some of the young guys that are going to have to step up in positions this year that maybe not have got a lot of playing time last year, are going to have to step up, and you've seen step into that position as you worked out this summer.
One of the guys I noticed definitely is Noah Butler. He hasn't got a ton of playing time in the past, but he's going to be one of our big linemen this year, and he's been getting better over the summer.
For me, it's got to be Tucker Warner. He really is a younger guy that has to really step up this year, has to grow up and mature, not just in the football standpoint, but as well as a person.
Jesse Jones, he's worked with me the whole winter and the summer. He's going to be a big part on the D-line and the O-line.
For me, it's got to be Zeb Adams. He has to take a big role in the running back position this year, and I feel like he just needs to step up.
Me, it's going to be Jacob Bryant, him, and Aiden Raines. Them guys this season, they're going to be some playmakers.
Coach, you want to comment on that?
All those are really good picks. I don't want to say any individual names. I'm going to leave some out. We have 6 seniors in our program. 4 of them are up here with me, and we have 2 at home, and I can speak on those 2 guys as well. But we have several guys that are going to have to step up and play a bigger role than they have in the past. We graduated 10 guys last year off of last year's team, and we have 6 seniors that have a lot of experience with one player in particular that didn't play last year in Cooper Johnson that we feel like can make an instant impact for our team. And we got to bridge the gap. We got to have some of those those sophomore, junior groups, some of those guys that haven't necessarily started in the past step up.
Well, Coach, it's obvious. I mean, you can tell by listening to the guys, this is a player-driven football team, obviously, and they communicate well. What are some of the strengths going into fall? Because naturally you lose 10 seniors, you're going to have some interchangeable parts. But what do you see some of the strengths going into the fall season for this football team?
It's really how close they are, and it's very – it means – at our place, it still means something to play for Geraldine across the chest. It actually means something for them to put that purple jersey on. Or, Phil, what you said, the black jersey. Whichever one we put on, it really means something to them. It really means something for them to play for the player beside them, for their brother beside them. And that's something we're real big on is brotherhood, and it's something we really live by, and taking themselves out of the equation. When we're running, we're conditioning, we don't leave that field until the last guy gets done. And they understand that. They understand that, regardless of the role or where we're at on the field, like we're going to continue to – we always have a role. So, like, if you're done, you're cheering on the ones that are still running. If you're done in the weight room on your last set, you better find work. You better go cheer on the person that's still lifting. We always have a job, regardless of whatever 4 phases of the game. If you're on the field, special teams or offense or defense, or if you're on that sideline, that's our 4 phases of the game. You have a job and you have a role, and we're going to do it to the best of our ability.
Coach, the last couple of years, you've won 21 games, I think, going, 21-5. You've really set the bar high for this Geraldine team. I want you to comment on it, and I want these guys to comment on it. What's it going to take to make that next step for this team this year to maybe get to that next game, that quarterfinal game, semifinal game, even a state championship game?
I'll speak on it, and then I'll let them speak on it. What I see is we got to have, and this is anyone, you hit that wall in the middle of the season, of doing the same thing over and over and over and over. But you can't get bored with the small little things, the things that aren't really that fun. Because at the end of the day, when 2 great teams play, it's always going to become between a combination of, a small amount of little things that we didn't do. You can have this fancy scheme, you can have all this and that, but it always comes down to, did we get off blocks? Did we run to the football? Did we make tackles? How many missed tackles did we have? Did we miss this block? Did he get his head across? Did he, the small little things is really what makes a team, excel whenever you're playing great teams, and, Coach Waldrop said it earlier, winning is contagious. These guys, I can say that, You know, why am I so optimistic? Because I know the work they put in. I know the day-to-day work that they put in. You don't win games when August gets here. You win games from December to August. And I know how hard they work. So whenever they step foot on the field, I'm confident just like they are. And that's the only way we're going to go about our business.
We just got to stay disciplined and stay physical throughout the season and just can't get relaxed.
Like Coach Davis said, it's the little things that matter. It doesn't matter if you're the strongest or if you're the quickest. Them little things will get you really, really quick.
Really what Coach Davis and Kaysen said, we got to stay locked in and everything. And don't just focus on the little things.
We just got to stay locked in and don't get laxed and focus on the next day.
We got to have everybody 100% and know their job and go out there and be confident in what they're doing and just have to have confidence just to get over that hump. Because if they don't have confidence, then what do we really have?
Coach, last year you had a really fun 1-2 punch with Langford and John Beck Wade. They were only freshmen. How nice is it having both those guys back, both young players, and where do you want to see them continue to grow this year?
From a maturity standpoint, obviously everyone knows how talented they are. They're very talented individuals, but it's been great to see them grow and mature over the last year. You know, from a trust standpoint, you know, it's in high school football, in my opinion, you know, and especially from an old school coaching standpoint, you used to hear a bunch of old school coaches say, you're going to lose as many games as you have freshmen out there on the field. You know, that's not really the case anymore. We've been, you know, I guess you could say less fortunate as far as how many players and those guys being talented, more talented than some of the other ones, so they had to play at a young age. It's not really fair to them, but they've embraced that role, and you know, from their standpoint, they've really started since the 8th grade. You know, so this is going to be their 3rd year. You know, going into year 3, I expect big things out of them from a leadership standpoint and from a maturity standpoint.
Well, Coach, one thing, Coach Benefield talked on it. And I don't know if I've ever heard you talk about your staff very much. I know when I've been to these, talk about your staff that you have around you and what they mean to you, to you and to the program.
They mean everything. You know, a head coach is only as good as his assistant coaches, and we've, you know, come winning. You know, more people want to be a part of it. You know, year 1 sitting up here, it felt like I had myself and 2 other coaches to coach a junior high team, a JV team, and a varsity team, and we've been able to expand on that. And when I look at trying to bring people on, it's always, who do I want to surround these guys with? Like, what are they? Not really, you know, how smart they are. You know, who do I want to surround these guys with, and who do I want to be around every day? And you know, we've expanded. We've expanded. I got a lot of coaches. I don't want to say all the names because I may forget one of them. I don't want to, but you know, we have a former youth pastor. We have another pastor on staff. We have an awesome team chaplain. We try to, you know, we want to continue to pour into these guys. And, you know, from my standpoint, it makes me want to be a better man too, being around great people like that and great men like that. So if it makes me a better man, surely it's going to make them want to be better men as well. We have an awesome staff. I couldn't ask for a better staff.
Guys, I want to wrap it up today with a question to the players. Your personal goals and team goals as team leaders this year.
Personally, I just want to keep on getting better. I mean, for the years to come, but team-wise, I mean, it's just win the next game. Win the next game. That's all there is to it.
I feel as personal goals, I want to be a leader on the field as well as off the field. I don't want to just pour into the guys on the field and then not have anything to do with them off. As team goals, I want to be the best team in the state, best team there is, have that chemistry between everybody and not lose it throughout the season.
My personal goals is to be the best brother I can to all my teammates. Just leave them with something that they could build on to. And team goals is to build as a team and eventually win that state championship.
My personal goals is just to be a leader this year and guide all the little ones. And my team goals is just to be the best team around here. And
some team goals is that I want to every team wants to win a state championship, but you got to take it day by day and do the little things like Coach Davis said. But some personal goals is I want to be a better leader on and off the field because you just don't got eyes on you on Friday nights. When you walk through them hallways, you got little kids looking at you, looking up to you, want to be you, and how you carry yourself. Because if you're not going to carry yourself right, then it's showing just younger kids how you can act, and it's okay to act like that. So you just got to be aware of how you're acting and be that leader for them.
All right, thanks, guys. We appreciate you. Have a good season this year. Wish you the best of luck, Coach Davis.
Thank y'all.